We have already discussed electric flux. Let's recall it. The number of electric lines of forces that pass through the area placed in the electric field are known as electric flux. We have taken a plane surface area here and few electric field lines are passing through it. Only those electric field lines which are passing through this plane area are known as electric flux. Flux is proportional to the density of flow. For example, here 3 electric lines of forces are passing through this surface and here 6 electric lines of forces are passing through this surface. Due to more number of electric lines of forces, flux will be greater here because flux is proportional to the density of flow. Flux varies by how the boundary faces the direction of flow. It means it depends upon the orientation of the surface. Flux is proportional to the area within the boundary. Here, due to small area, only 3 number of electric field lines are passing through it. And here, due to greater area, 6 number of electric field lines are passing through it. Remember that we have taken the vector area normal to the surface of plane. Area vector for a closed surface. We have already discussed the area vector for the plane surface. Area vector for the plane surface is normal to the plane surface. But what's about area vector for a closed surface? For a closed surface, area vector is outward normal. Electric flux for a closed surface. For example, we have taken here a source charge which is outside the closed surface. Due to this source charge, number of electric field lines entering the closed surface are equal to number of electric field lines leaving the surface. So, flux in is equals to flux out and net flux is 0. So, when no charge inside the closed surface, net flux will be 0. You can see in the figure here, number of electric field lines entering the closed surface are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and number of electric field lines leaving the surface are also 5. So we get net flux equals to 0. Now we have placed a negative charge inside a closed surface. In this case, number of electric field lines entering the closed surface will be greater than the number of electric field lines which are leaving the surface. So in this case, electric flux will be negative. Now we have placed a positive charge inside a closed surface. We know that electric field lines are radially outward from a positive charge. And in this case, electric lines of forces that are leaving the surface are greater than the electric lines of forces that are entering the closed surface. So electric flux will be positive in this case. In lecture number 1, we have discussed the electric flux and its formula. Electric flux is defined as the number of lines of forces that pass through the area placed in the electric field, and its formula is phi is equals to EA cos theta. For maximum flux, we put theta is equals to 0 and we get phi is equals to EA cos 0, which is equals to EA. But this formula is for flat surfaces where the electric field is uniform. Electric flux through any surface area. In general, an electric field is not uniform and the area is not flat. In this figure, you can see that area is not flat. That's why electric field is not uniform. Any area can be divided up into n number of small elements of surface area delta A. sufficiently small to be considered flat, and the electric field is rather invariant over this small area. So in this figure we can divide the surface area into small patches, and these small patches are small and flat, so we get uniform electric field. We will find the flux through each small element of surface area delta A, and then we will sum up all the flux to get the total electric flux through this surface area. Electric flux through a closed surface. If the case is such that either field is non-uniform or the surface is curved, then we divide the surface into very small patches of surface area delta A called differential area, and assume that electric field in these patches is uniform. In order to derive the expression for electric flux through a closed surface, consider a spherical closed surface of radius r having a point charge q at its center. As in this figure we have spherical closed surface, so we will divide the area into small patches to get the uniform electric field. To calculate the electric flux through the whole surface, it is divided into n number of small patches having area delta A1, delta A2, delta A3 and so on, delta AN. The intensity of electric field is same at every point as they are equidistant from the charge. As plus q charge is placed in the center of this spherical surface, so electric field lines will be outward. Electric field lines are parallel to the small element delta A, so theta is equals to 0, which is the angle between delta A and electric field intensity. The electric flux through a small element delta A1 is phi 1 is equals to E1 delta A1, and the angle between E and delta A1 is 0 degrees. So we put theta is equals to 0 and get E1 delta A1 cos 0 is equals to 1. So we get phi 1 is equals to E1 delta A1, which is the flux through small element delta A1. The electric flux through a small element delta A2 is phi 2 is equals to E2 delta A2. Again, the angle between E and delta A2 is 0 degrees. So we get E2 delta A2 cos 0. By putting cos 0 is equals to 1, we get phi 2 is equals to E2 delta A2, which is the flux through surface element delta A2. Similarly, the flux through small element delta AN is phi n is equals to En dot delta AN, which is equals to En delta AN cos 0. Cos 0 is equals to 1, and we get phi n is equal to En delta AN. Total flux can be calculated by adding all the flux through each small patch, which is equals to phi is equals to phi 1 plus phi 2 plus phi 3 plus so on plus phi n. By putting the values of phi 1, phi 2, phi 3 and phi n, we get phi is equals to E1 delta A1 plus E2 delta A2 plus E3 delta A3 plus so on till En delta An, and phi E is equals to summation I is equals to 1 to n into Ei delta Ai. But as electric field E is constant over the surface, therefore phi is equals to E summation del A. Since E is equals to kq divided by r square and k is equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, putting the value of k, we get E is equals to q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into 1 upon r square, which we derived in lecture number 1. Let's say equation number B. By putting equation number B into equation number A, we get equation number C, which is phi is equals to q divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into 1 upon r square into summation del A. Let's say equation number C. In equation number C, summation delta A is total area enclosed by spherical surface and it is equals to 4 pi r square. Putting the value of summation delta A is equals to 4 pi r square into equation number C, we get equation number D, which is equals to phi is equals to q upon 4 pi epsilon naught into 1 upon r square into 4 pi r square. By cancelling 4 pi and r square, we get phi is equals to q upon epsilon naught. In equation number E, you can see that we have only two factors, q and epsilon naught. So the above equation shows that electric flux does not depend upon the shape or geometry of a closed surface, but it depends upon the medium and the charge enclosed by that surface. Now solve question number 2. What is the flux if charge is inside the closed surface? In figure A, plus Q charge is placed inside the closed surface, which is cylindrical shape. In figure B, plus Q charge is placed inside the closed surface, which is cubical shaped surface. In figure C, plus Q charge is placed inside the closed surface, which is spherical shaped closed surface.